We can't hear you.
Hello, Internet. I'm Scott.
Everybody, I'm Todd Cochran from Geek News Central.
And I am Don Bain, the Gadget Professor.
And we are here at CES 2020. And we're very excited about it. For all of you who have been longtime viewers of the Tech Podcasts Network's CES show, you will recognize that our older format is back. We've got the big show back.
Yeah.
And we have the show floor behind us, which
Sure
I'm
do.
so happy about.
That's right. We're up on the second deck of it. We were down before in a little room right below us.
That we've been calling the closet.
Yeah, for
Yep.
the past
We're
3 or
moving
4
on up.
years. So we made the move back upstairs, and we've even got a shot of the
The show floor.
as well.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to see that from time to time. And so we're exciting to have a good show for you today. And
Yeah, for sure.
But you know, it is Tuesday, first day of the show, and you know what's going to happen the first day of the show?
The first guest is going to be late.
Everyone's going to be late.
Well, don't forget, you got traffic to deal with. It's the first day. People don't know the layout, and it takes time.
And I'm going to one-up you on all of that.
Okay.
Ivanka Trump is in the building, which means the Secret Service is in the building.
Is she in this building?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I wonder where she stayed.
Probably not the big gold building within sight. So, yeah, she's in the building from 1 to 2. I think she has a keynote with Gary Shapiro at the Palazzo Ballroom on the 5th floor.
You might be surprised, though. She flies mostly commercial. Well, she has to, but she doesn't. I don't think she's authorized to fly government jet. But anyway, I was in Chicago sometime in the summer, and I saw this entourage of people coming, and it was her husband, and the.
It's pretty exciting to see that. It is.
And she's quite stunning when you see her in person from just seeing her. But it was they were gone. So. But,
so that's going to add some chaos to
today. So.
I have a question. I'll just throw it out. So every year there's a buzz. I remember the days it was 4K. I remember before that.
Right.
So what do you think the buzz is going to be this year?
AIoT. That's the term you're going to hear all week.
Really?
AIoT. It's the combination of AI and IoT. It's putting machine learning on top of sensors that are already out in the world. It's 6 months ago when we were at Collision doing this show, it was not a term yet. It was I did a tag cloud on my CES emails, and AIoT was the biggest word.
So
that came
I
in.
think the general consumer is going to be like, really? It doesn't even sound like it makes sense to what it is, and so I guess we're going to have to see by the products that are being presented what that actually physically means for the home or for health or anything else that's going on.
Yeah, I was reading this. I was reading this article. It was a tech article, and sometimes they get involved in philosophy and all kinds of things that artificial intelligence integrates a lot of different technology and sciences. But there are a lot of people now that are quote hardcore. And they're saying, wait a minute, this stuff really isn't artificial intelligence. You're taking logarithms and taking the data from that, but it's not really, artificial intelligence.
Not yet.
And, they got a point to a degree, but you know what? To me, that's how it starts. I mean, you got to start somewhere.
If the computers can start, which is where we are right now, the computers are able to, well, a little past this. The first step was getting the computers to make decisions on their own. We see that all the time, right? Whether or not we get an email into our inbox or into our junk mail. We've got computers making decisions based on past. The second step is neural networks that are able to build themselves, and some companies are working with self-healing neural networks. I've got a project right now that's using that. It's still fairly early stage, but we're way farther ahead than we would have been. Believe it or not, it's Steve Ballmer, the former CEO of Microsoft, who said, why are we continuing to... This hasn't worked. Let's rethink how the neural networks are built. And Microsoft changed it. Now everybody's gone that way. So that's why we've grown there. And then the next thing is them being able to train themselves.
Well, again, a lot of interesting concepts. Let's see the products.
Right, exactly.
Let's see what the products are actually going to do and be.
And we see some consumer products out in the world. The Apple Watch is a great example.
Right.
The heart thing that's built into it, and it's able to determine based on what it gets.
But it's
what's normal
but it's
for
been
you.
programmed.
It's a logarithm. It's if this, then this. They're all logic
Yeah.
concepts.
Yeah, but it does. With that one, I know that it takes readings for you and then adjusts its network based on what you are and what your norms are, so it can make better decisions. But we're still early stage,
embryonic
that
stage.
AI stuff.
So if we've established that might be the buzzword, what's the secondary buzzword going to be?
I was talking to a guy yesterday, and who's a media. He's been coming to the show for 20 years. He says every year it's something. It's 3G, it's 5G, it's LTE, it's whatever the thing is. He says there's really, and beyond what you said, there's not. So I think what we're seeing is we're going to see Gen 3, Gen 4 of products and services that we say, we've seen that last year, but it's no, it's got something new in the box.
So you think it's going to be a refinement of things that are already out there?
Yeah, and the health stuff still continues to kick hard. I saw something, press release actually forwarded to my writing team, something about it's checks for the density of belly fat. Belly fat for men are, probably the number one thing that kills us with heart attacks or leads to.
Are you looking at me?
No, I'm looking at me too. So, so they've got something. It measures belly fat density. So it's just again another health sensor. So we'll see what comes of all this. And until we get on the floor, I was walking through, and before we pre-queued this, we've got you probably can't see this real well on the screen.
Oh, apparently you can.
But we are. How many of these boards are we giving away?
So we have 6 of them.
6.
So represented on the TPN team this year, we have 5 brands. We have Geek News Central, we have the Gadget Professor, we have Plug Hits Live, we have Talking Sound, and we have the Tech Ranch.
Yep.
So each of our teams will have one to give away, and then as a group, we will discuss what we believe is
the winner
the
chicken
best
dinner.
of the best.
And this is the best of the best one, right?
So
these are beautiful awards, and Scott, I commend you on the selection, and it all looks good. We're on the camera over here, so there we go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm really excited to have them back because we haven't done them the last couple of years. I'm glad to do them again because
I think it's been at least since we left.
I think it was North Hall.
Since we left North Hall, we haven't done them over here. Yeah.
So.
Well, these are real nice. I like them, and you know what? I think, I'm sure, if someone gets this award, it's going to be the buzz is going to get around. This is so nicely done that they're going to want to use this in their advertising campaigns, and I think it helps our entire Tech Podcast network.
And
I
have the graphic version of this that for the article for the actual publish that it'll get to go on the splash for them.
Yeah.
So whenever we do publish it, we'll be able to mark them as our best of. The same as a lot of the other publications. I want to make sure that we call them out specifically.
So one thing is kind of funny. I went to CES Unveiled. First time in CES Unveiled in probably 2 or 3 years. And my strategy at the show, Marlo's strategy at the show has changed. And what we're really doing this year is we're going through and finding cool stuff, and then I'm going to do post-show interviews.
That's a great idea.
Because it's just easier to cover. You can go, instead of spending 20 minutes with a booth, and you can get this conversation done in 5-10 minutes. You can move on, and then, it's just the only way you can cover this thing. And that way, we just really focus on the 20, 30, 40 things that we want to talk about. But I have to laugh because there's always, I haven't seen a booth like this in a while. And
I can't wait for that.
It was at CES Unveiled. And did you see the vinyl recorder booth?
No.
Okay, so
not.
now here we have, and I'm just showing, it's on the live blog. So if you're on geeknewscentral.com, if you're on New Media, if you're on thegadgetprofessor.com, if you're on plughitslive.com or our it's not on our Facebook pages, but
it's on Talking Sound. It's on
right. So we got
all
our major sites. You'll see this picture, and it's vinylrecorder.com is the website. And this guy looked like he had a science lab set up at CES and all these other fancy booths, nice signage and everything. And this guy has just got he's got a Audio-Technica turntable with a engraving stylus on it and a bunch of hocus pocus gear, all set up.
Hocus pocus.
I'm not kidding you. This was homebrew science project.
I love it. The gadget professor.
We call it the mad scientist.
This was a mad scientist guy. $4,000 for the setup, and
Did you get one?
No, he had. Of course not. He had 20 people, and I just basically got in to get a shot, you know. And he's just talking, and it's definitely for the hardcore audiophile.
Sure. Yeah.
And so, some people are into vinyl, but again, vinylrecorder.com if you want to see the website. But
that's great.
And it just, I had to laugh because even his sign, look, and again, I don't want to bust on him. It's not I'm not trying to degrade him.
That's not what we're doing. Yeah.
It's because here's a guy with an idea. Okay, he's at CES Unveiled. He's paid extra money to go to this. It's
not cheap to get into that.
Unveiled is the expensive one of the three, too.
So he's spent some money to be there. He's probably here on the show floor too, someplace. I hope I find his booth.
Is he going to be here? Are we going to interview him?
Well, we'll have to find him. We'll have to look and see where he's located.
Well, he'll stand out for sure.
But it's not like he can bring this to the booth.
Sure.
But for anyone that's listening, you can go to vinylrecorder.com and just check it out. But it was hilarious.
So one of our all-time favorite companies that we've ever interacted with was in the mad scientist phase when we met him.
Right.
It was Benji Locke, who's actually right behind us here.
Oh, is that right?
He's right back here. And the CEO of the new parent company will be on the show either today or tomorrow. But Robbie was downstairs in Eureka Park, and he had a wooden prototype of a biometric lock, a padlock.
Right.
It was a wooden prototype, and he was here.
Yep.
It didn't do anything.
Yep.
It was painted, and it was shiny, and...
Yeah, you get those at CES.
Since then, he was on Shark Tank. Mr. Wonderful put $100,000 in. He's now part of Hampton Products, which owns Brinks Home Security.
It's cool as hell to watch these things develop from their embryonic stages. I remember, and it's funny you mentioned that it had to be 4 years ago. It was here actually, and I interviewed a guy who had an internet radio TV. And it looked like just like, from the 50s, I guess, one of those Bakelite radios that you used to have. Some of you got to remember that out there. But this thing was cool. When I saw that, man, my eyes lit up. So you turned on, and you can either pick an internet radio station or a TV broadcast from anywhere in the world, all in one box.
Right.
Worked on electric, worked on batteries. It was really, really cool. So I went to touch it, and he didn't say anything, and I pushed the on button, and my finger went right through the wooden chassis. It was a prototype, which he didn't tell me because it had all the lights in it and everything. Right. But I remember my finger going through and saying, oh, my God, what did I do? And I said, it's a prototype. He goes, well, yeah. And I was so bummed out because everything was, was on a little
So did it make it to market?
I never have seen it. And boy, to me, still, that concept, we have internet radio, no biggie. And if you're in front of your computer, you can tune in things.
Monster just showed off something like that at their press conference on Monday. It's not quite that, but it's similar.
I bought it.
But I'm gonna dip out now.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna take the award with me.
Okay.
And help the studio.
Okay.
And I will be back on. I think I closed the show today.
Okay.
So I will be back in a couple of hours and enjoy.
We'll be looking forward to it.
Hopefully we'll get our guests to start showing up directly. But
we have one.
There you go, Scott.
Oh, we have one. All right.
Nice job on this, by the way. Nice job.
Before we bring the guest up, I'll tell you, I shipped all this stuff to Michigan.
Wait,
from Hawaii, right?
Before you finish your story, you had this. You saw something that was similar to this internet radio TV
Here's
box?
the story. So I shipped my stuff to Hawaii, from Hawaii to Michigan in my container.
Right.
And I had an old Denon amplifier, and I had some rack stuff still left, and I have a nice. I play vinyl. I'm
sure.
And the amplifier was dead, and I hadn't used it in a while, so it could have been dead before I left.
Sure.
Right. So I ordered a new amplifier online, and I got something that was kind of mid-range, and I really didn't pay too much attention to all the features because I really wasn't going to use it. But when I got it, it's got internet radio in it. It's got Sirius. It's got all this stuff. It's built
Spotify, Pandora.
And it's built in an amplifier that is a normal multifunction where you can select a CD or DVD or
Right.
you know, or a
That's pretty much standard though
yeah,
today.
it is standard. So,
You know?
but I was kind of surprised it actually had all this internet radio stuff.
And
in
that it worked.
And it worked, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know where they fill their library from, but that.
Yeah, you actually can go into that. Most of them open that up to the database. So if you use your username and password to log into, maybe it's not the Denon site, but it's a site that's on their website.
Sure.
It's known to everybody. I forget it at the moment, but you're actually able to go in and find the stations that you want, so it will hit your particular device. So if you want to listen to say WBZ in Boston, you can put that in. It will
Pre-select
find
it and then you have
which
it.
is nice.
That's
But
cool.
you know, I have one of
But
these.
you know,
Go ahead.
it had Bluetooth, so I'm just streaming everything off my phone. So all that functionality really
Right.
is kind
what?
of mute,
Yeah,
right?
you
Because
have a big box.
It's right
Yeah,
here, you know,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
in my earbuds.
And that's the other thing. You can go on your cell phone today, on your smartphone, and pull up any station
Right,
you
right.
want.
You know,
and
so-
they're all broadcasting too on the internet, which is interesting because it opens up a whole new market
Sure.
for these
Sure.
companies.
So,
You know, you can do national
So,
broadcasting now.
are we going to bring?
Is the guest here?
Oh yeah, bring them on up. So, cue them up here.
All right, we're going
First,
to get our monitor queue up here.
I think they will. They're talking over there, and
Okay, we have a
working-
little monitor here to the right of me and directly in front of Todd that's going to queue up who the next person is
But
that we're interviewing.
I'm going. You've got it for the next hour and a half, hour
I'll
40.
do my best, Todd.
So have fun, and
We'll catch up with you later.
yeah. So everyone.
You're on right after me, I believe.
Yep. So
Okay.
make sure everyone says hello in the chat rooms wherever you may be. We'll follow and we'll try to say hi.
Okay, have a good
But,
one, Todd.
let me go ahead and bounce out and we'll
Todd, are we doing our switch this year with the wallets or no?
no.
Oh, okay.
I switch with wallets. You
Yeah,
want- you-
remember you take my wallet and I take your wallet,
so we don't
buy
spend no
anything.
money.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I might end up spending money on you.
Okay, we'll see about that. All right, well, let's settle in here. We're getting ready for our first interview. I want to welcome everyone to the opening day of CES 2020. We are on the actual second floor of the second floor. We have a booth structure here, and our office is below, which is really nice. We haven't had that in a while. And if you're going to be doing an interview here with us, you'll walk up the stairs onto this wonderful broadcast booth that Scott put together for us. It's quite impressive. And as I understand it, we also have a camera behind me and below me that will actually go out onto the showroom floor. Now, this is all live, so the crew's looking at me like, what am I doing? Can we get a quick switch to the camera outside? Can we get a quick, so I'll give you a quick peek at that while our guest is coming in, and you'll actually be able to see what's behind me. So there you see the showroom floor on our special webcam, so you get a feel for that we're up above the action. So I'm getting the okay, and we're going to have our first guest up here. Hello, I'm Don Bain. Welcome. We're going to get you set with the headset. And it's Dr. Shinohara.
Yes.
Can you hear okay? And
Yeah, excellent. I can
okay,
hear.
I'm going to put
Okay.
this just a tad closer. There you go.
Yep, good.
So tell us a little bit about your company and why you're here.
Yes, and I'm coming from the Robosense. So
Okay.
we LiDAR the provider company. So then we do the LiDAR hardware, the development, and also we do the AI-based perception algorithm the development. So what we are bringing to here is because now it's the autonomous driving car is quite a popular topic. How to make the autonomous driving more safe. So we provide the eye for the autonomous driving the vehicles. So then the LiDAR is exactly is using a laser source, a light to detect to perceive the surrounding environment for the vehicles. Yeah.
So your product is actually going to be the eyes, if you will, of the auto driving car, if you will.
Exactly. So then we provide not only just the eye, also kind of the brain for the vehicle to understanding the surrounding environment. Yes.
Now this integrates with some type of artificial intelligence. I would matter when it sees what it sees. It's got to make some decisions. How does that process occur?
Yes. So then what we let's say the AI-based let's say detection is using a lot of the data. So then you do the testing, you do the collecting the different the situations. So then make the computer to understand what is the situation it is. So by this, it's using kind of the let's say the scenario-based detection. So then, for example, there is a car is broken, it's in front of the vehicle for a couple hundred meters away. So then the sensor can detect and can sense it.
Now that has to happen instantaneously.
Yes, it's do the it's always it's do in the real time. It's much reaction faster than the human drivers because.
Whoa! You're telling me wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're telling me that the reaction time, the response to decipher that information is faster than the brain?
Yes.
Really?
True. Yeah, because for the human body, so for the human, we do the, for example, if it's an accident happen, we break the car. Normally, it's taking some kind of the second. So then with the sensor, it can react in the let's say the 0.1 or 0.2 second to start to do the reaction. This is the really the beauty of the AI the algorithm. Yeah.
I believe you, but I'm having a hard time processing that fact.
Yes, so then because so the computer is very good at and do the processing, do the calculation. So then they do the let's say in the nanosecond to do the one calculation. This is much faster than us. But of course, the AI is make the link of the faster computing of the let's say of the processor, and using the human likes the thinking the mechanism. So then to do also the kind of thinking in a faster speed. Yeah.
That's pretty fascinating. Now, is your product actually in use in a particular car, like the Tesla or whatever?
Yes, so we are having some partners, so then they are using our car during the testing now. So then it's not yet let's say because there's no the autonomous driving car really is available, but we see a lot of the car is on the road for the testing. So our sensor is used for couple of our customers, and for example the FAW cars in China, and so then they are using it for testing. Yes.
That's very interesting. Now, this is becoming pretty much mainstream. I had an Uber last night, and the gentleman had a brand new 2020. I think it was it a Hyundai? I can't remember. I think it was a Hyundai, and it had it already built in, and I was surprised that it was that mainstream already. So this technology is actually being utilized and is out there right now today. Is that correct?
Exactly.
And is it implementing your sensors?
Yes, sure. Yeah. So then we have a lot of the robotaxi, also the players, the customers, they are using our sensor for the testing because it's still in a testing phase. It's not yet really ready for the final customer to ride autonomous driving the robotaxis. But we will see it quite quick, quite soon because
how long are we talking? A week, a month, a year?
I think it's I remember that in USA the Lyft or the Uber there are also some of the testing you can test.
Oh, is that right?
Driving.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So then, but it's not for everyone. But
right.
It's in some the area is already able to try. Yeah.
Now, how long have you been testing?
We started to do let's say we started to do the development since 2 to 3 years ago.
Okay.
And recently, since last year, we are doing a lot of the testing the different scenario, the different weather conditions, rain, snow, fog.
Yeah, I forgot about that. It's not only making decisions about proximity of other cars, it's making decisions about the weather, the speed that you're going at, the weight of the car, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So because all those information for the human, the beauty of the human is we don't even know what kind of sensor we have, but we know how let's say how weight is the car, and the car if the car is heavy or not. But it's for the computer you need a lot of the sensor to sense this information, use this information to make a better safety drive. Yeah.
So how many inputs is this actually taking? I mean, can you define that? How many things go into determining what the car should do based on what the eyes see?
So sorry, I didn't get your question.
Yeah, my question is, how many different inputs are there that go into your sensors that actually allow you to come up with a a good decision. You don't want a bad decision.
Yeah, sure. So then we do not need any the external input. So then because it's our sensor, it's interaction sensor. So then we sending the lasers using the light source to sensing the environment. It's quite similar as the human eye, but the better than human eye because the eye is only working at the daytime. So then we sending a light out and then collect the light back. So then therefore we do not need additional information.
So are you suggesting then that it's actually better in theory at night than the human eye is?
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah. So because it's an active sensor. So then
I find that just mind-boggling. Go ahead.
Yeah. So because it's an active sensor, so then you have let's say the light source inside. The light we're using is the IR light. So then because the human do not see the infrared. So then, but we send the infrared light out and then collect this infrared information back. So by do this, we got is completely.
It's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
So what if I went to your booth? What would I actually see? Would I see a demo of this? Would I see the sensors themselves? Because obviously the consumer's not going to buy your product. It's going to be a large company or conglomerate.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what would I see at your booth?
In our booth, we do have some demo as a real lifetime demo for
really,
or the demonstrator how how the sensor is seeing from seeing the environment. And also we do have external side demo drive the drive. So then with our testing car, the demo car, so you can see during the drive what is the sensor or what is the car exactly sees the environment or how it's different compared to human eye. Yeah.
Now, some tough questions. Are there? I wouldn't imagine that there's a lot of people in that space making those products.
Yes. There do. So then there are a couple tons of companies are doing the LiDAR product at the moment. So then what is our strength, really the good thing is we do the smart sensor. So then this is what I mentioned. So we are not only just do the pure some kind of LiDAR hardware, but we also will bring up the brains to understand the environment. This is the beauty of our technologies.
So you're encompassing the whole technology, basically, is what you're saying.
So then this is also why we got this year's the CES Innovation Award by this smart sensor, because not only the hardware, everyone is a couple 10 companies are doing that, but not so many is doing the brains to understanding the environment.
It's pretty fascinating stuff. You're definitely deep into the area of artificial intelligence, if you will, but it's not artificial because it's based on, I guess, statistical analysis of what it sees and the understanding of what to do with that data when it actually comes through.
Exactly. So then, because it's to make the perception to give the eye to the autonomous driving cars, safety is very important. So then you cannot only rely on some let's say the awesome technology, but it do not care about the safety. So then we do also care about the safety. Make sure have enough data to tell that the drive is safe. Yeah.
Absolutely fascinating. I can't thank you enough for coming on board.
Thank you
if
very
people
much.
wanted to know more about the company, where they go to your website?
Yes, we do have the website. It's the robosense.ai. So then you find all the information about our product, about our use cases, applications on the website.
That's just fantastic. Thank you again. I appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
We're going to take a quick picture. Thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
fascinating.
Thank
I got to come down and see your booth. It's really something.
Sure, of course, you're welcome. So then
Thank
we are
you.
entire week here. Also, our demo vehicle is outside for the entire week.
All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to
Okay,
do it,
thank
folks.
you very much.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to take
Thank
your
you.
headset. That's awesome.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you. That's the fun of this. You see things that, and you hear things that are just literally unimaginable. It's interesting that he's saying, without any hesitation, that his product is better and faster than the brain in terms of making decisions. I have not, as of yet, done the ride, but I'm probably going to do it when I'm out here at CES. Based on that conversation, I'm feeling safe enough, because when he was telling me this, he didn't flinch, man. He just looked right at me and said, yeah, absolutely. So I'll give it a shot. And I'll record the whole thing when I'm doing it. So if anything happens, you guys can all be witnesses. All right. Hi, my name is Don Bain.
Don, how are you? David Kennington.
David Kennington, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you for coming on, and tell us a little bit about your company and,
Sure.
and what you do and what brings us here.
So my company is New Hearer. We've been around for about 4 years. We're a smart hearing company. So what we do is we bring smart hearing devices.
Okay, well, I'm glad you came on because you know, of course, that I have hearing aids on right this second as we speak.
You do?
So I'm going to have a lot of questions
Great.
for you, so go
Good.
ahead.
So you probably know that 1 out of 6 people have got some degree of hearing loss. Okay, most of those people fit into the mild to moderate category.
Correct.
And up until now, they really haven't had an option. They've either, suffered through the pain or had to go to see an audiologist and do an audiogram and get a hearing aid. What we've now developed is a product which is 4 years in the making. This is our 3rd generation of product that essentially gives you all the benefits of a high-end premium headset, but also many of the benefits you get from a hearing aid. So it gives you the ability to personalize your hearing through an assessment on the app that automatically calibrates the buds to your own personal hearing profile in both ears. And then it gives you the ability to customize how you hear in different locations. So speech and noise control, EQ frequency, directional focus. So all these fantastic hearing benefits with the great sound fidelity, Siri and Google Assist, hands-free phone calls that you'd expect from a high-end hearing, earbud or premium headset, plus ANC.
Okay. You ready for some hard questions?
Yeah,
'Cause
let's go.
You've probably got the toughest guy on our crew when it comes to hearing
Perfect.
aids and stuff.
Excellent.
So first of all, I'm going to tell my audience, and I've been honest about this if you've watched the Gadget Professor show. I do have hearing aids, and I've had them for a while, and there is nothing worse than being in a social situation, even a one-to-one situation, and not being able to hear. And it's just not that you can't hear. It's not the volume. It's the garble that you're hearing.